FloridaManRadio.com. Out and about? On a run? Listen live on the free Florida Man Radio app and on your Alexa device by saying play 105.5 Florida Man Radio. There's no reason to miss any of your favorites, like the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Hey Alexa, who are the most famous Bubbas?
According to Blogspot.com, Bubba and Howard are kings of media.
Oh. Whoa. You're like that guy on the beach with a metal detector who finally found something.
You have Power Radio with Justin Clark, The Ed Till Show, or The Shannon Burke Show.
At that point, I'm down hard. Eat REM drink. Yeah. Like Ronald Reagan and I are bowling.
Want to do a rail of cocaine on the back of the toilet? Those kind of drinks.
Florida Man Radio. Unfiltered, unafraid. Get it how you need to. Now.
The following program was paid for by the host. The views and opinions on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting, management, or its sponsors.
The arts are alive and well in Orlando. And now, a chance to get acquainted with and hear stories of the musicians, writers, artists, filmmakers, and performers who are the Orlando arts and culture scene. The Chase Shelleé Show on Florida Man Radio.
Hello and happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome to the Chase Shelleé Show here, Florida Man Radio. You can listen to us at 105.5. Also, we're on the iHeartRadio app and also FloridaManRadio.com. So I'm very excited this Saturday. I have an incredible artist in the studio and a dear friend, Mr. Daniel Cooksley. So welcome.
Thank you. What a treat to be here.
I'm so happy to have you in here. I've had, so far, all of my guests have been amazing, but every time I have someone new in, I'm like, why didn't I do this before?
I know. I couldn't believe it when you'd mentioned it. I'm like, oh, how long have you been doing this? And so, thank you.
Yes. So Daniel Cooksley, you are an actor. You are a creative here in the Central Florida area. But mostly, you have been just killing it, photography. And your style is very distinct. It's beautiful. But before we get into that and I start, showing everybody or pointing everybody to your sites and social media, your story is fascinating. And everything that you the steps you took to get to where you are now. So I want to get to know you, and I want to introduce you to my listeners.
Okay.
So where did you come from? From where did you hail?
Originally, I was born in Van Nuys, California. I grew up in San Fernando. I lived there for about 14 years, and then moved from the valley of LA to Northern California, up in the mountains.
Oh, wow.
Little town, about 200 people, two stop signs.
Oh, my goodness.
Incredibly. If I graduated high school from that little town, we would have had the largest senior class in like 8 years with 9 students.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. So it was very, very small, right in the foothills. And then through just a chain of events and meeting an uncle that I had never met before who'd fished on the East Coast. So that's how we jumped to the East Coast. He said, oh, yeah, you should come fishing with me. And so I cut wood and mowed lawns, bought plane tickets to Maryland. And that's when I started my fishing career. And I was introduced to the ocean.
Oh, my. So coast to coast.
From coast to coast, yeah. And then I started professionally sport fishing at about 15 years old, and I pursued that for a good 16 years.
That's new. I don't think anybody who's been on the show has told me that's in their background.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Got my captain's license at 25, and I started running. My last job was running a yacht in the Caribbean, year contract.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, and we were down in Venezuela for some time, and I came back to the U.S. And while I was in the U.S., I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go and dabble into acting. And I had auditioned for a play in Tampa, and I was cast, and Noel Coward's Present Laughter. So it wasn't like I was just taken on a tree. It was like actually at a playhouse.
Oh, my goodness.
First time. So new that after our first reading, the director said, okay, everybody, tomorrow we're going to start blocking, so don't forget your pencils. And I raised my hand. I'm like, what's blocking?
Oh, my gosh. What's blocking?
Yeah, so everybody turned around, and it was crazy. And so that, so I did that, and which is going to kind of segue into this, I promise. So opening night, something had happened to me, which I wouldn't understand for I'd say probably a good decade, truly what had happened, but it changed my life.
Okay.
And I said, I had to do this. Now understand that I'm running a boat in the Caribbean, making good money. I'm my own boss on a private boat that's worth about $1.4 million, living the life of Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, that sounds really nice right now.
And I'm like, no, all right, I'm going to pursue a career in, that's not guaranteed. But it wasn't about the money. It wasn't me. Something had happened to me.
You had a moment.
Yes. And so I did that. And that was in 2001.
Wow.
And I had, I'd been in, in the acting community now for some time.
A long time.
A long time.
A while.
Yeah. And I didn't get to, I was in an independent film. That's what brought me to Orlando. And I decided to move here. And my first big show was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest at Theater Downtown.
Wow.
Which to anybody out there that knows the area, they, sad, that they've been shut down for several years now. But that changed, that put me on the map. I played Billy Bibbit. And it was so fortunate, amazing cast, amazing show, amazing director, just the whole theater. And that, and so it wasn't, because before it was like, okay, yes, I want to be in movies and all of that.
And then you're on theater.
Yes.
It's a very raw form of acting expression. You really can't fake that.
No, it's
movie magic you can manipulate that, but when you are on stage with a live audience, it is
exhilarating.
Yes.
It's magic. It is.
That is where the great teaching happens. Wonderful learning experience, but you find out very quickly if you have a gift or not.
True. Yeah. Or if you're cut out for it, or if that's what you want to do, or a lot of different mediums in that. And so I was so fortunate, and have been so fortunate to have worked with some amazing directors, amazing cast, step into the shoes of some amazing characters, and I established myself. And I don't say that arrogantly. I say that confidently.
As you should be. You should be confident in that. Yes.
And I did that, and then I decided that I wanted to get sober. And that was actually, it's coming up on 9 years of sobriety.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I know just different things that you've gone through that have challenged that, and you have maintained that as that's a foundation. That's something that you've not wavered on, and I would like to encourage anyone who's listening, if you are, struggling with that, living proof right here in the studio that it can be done. You can be a sober artist.
Yes, you absolutely can. It was like I was acting for the first time. I remember the first show that I did sober. It was it's like I've never done this before. But it was amazing because
this is the real deal.
Yeah, because I felt feelings. It was amazing.
I can't hide from them anymore.
Changed my life. And so I kind of, stepped away from theater for a little bit and to pursue film and television, which I had done. And I got an agent through a very dear friend of mine.
And it's a different animal. A lot of people don't realize that acting in film and acting on stage, two different crafts.
Totally.
Completely. And I find that they both complement each other. The things that you work on your inner world that have to be subtle in the camera, you can still use those techniques in both. I find they both feed each other and help each other, but they are different skills to learn.
Absolutely. If I was to recommend to anybody who was getting into it, I would 100% recommend theater first, because
I agree. I completely agree.
You truly, truly understand what character development is in the context of the story and finding that through line, which, and you
learn to respect the script.
100%.
You do a lot of improvisation on film, and but learning to live and die and respect the lines given.
And finding the true nuggets of the story that is being told, of the intention of the playwright. All of those little hidden gems in collaboration with your director and your artist. It is magic, and you get to find that natural.
You're truly an acting student when you are on the stage.
100%.
I find that sometimes a lot of people feel like that they're automatically a master when they're in front of a camera. You are humbled, you are taught, and you are stretched.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's it's like to make that transition, and it was difficult to just simply keeping my voice down.
Oh, I know, projection.
Yes,
all
exactly.
a sudden you can whisper.
Exactly.
And you're
Exactly. And it was wonderful because I was involved, or I was a part of a wonderful agency, AM&T up in Atlanta, one of the top 3 agencies, and I got work right off the bat. So, I got my SAG card, my first film.
That's amazing.
I did a couple of, a couple TV shows, so a day player, a couple of TV shows. And there was just something that I loved it. I respected, I gave myself credit for, being sober and, pursuing it. But there was something that was missing. There was something that was missing. And and then that kind of led into the photography, to be honest. That little segue to go from that,
You found yourself behind the camera wanting to capture moments.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't as if I just, I didn't just pick up a camera, I traveling around the world in that time and, around the Caribbean, I'd had a camera because I had such beautiful locations, but it was all still photography or, landscapes and still photography. It was never portraiture. And, I had my universe. I crossed with another universe who she was a model, and
she was your original muse.
Yes,
the true definition of a muse.
100%, absolutely. And even at the beginning, it wasn't. We didn't really find that, and we had taken a trip to St. Augustine, and I had taken the camera with me that I'd used. I had a camera that I used for my auditions.
Okay,
so my video submissions up to Atlanta, for the shows. And anyway, so I started taking some photos, and I've always been partial to black and white. And she looked at them and said, "Why have you been keeping this from me?"
Oh my goodness!
And that is kind of where that started, and that's coming up on 2 years.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
2-year anniversary.
I know, that's crazy to think of, especially with the if you just the amazing energies and spirits that I've been able to work.
You have. For those who are just tuning in and listening, here at the Shelleé Show, I am interviewing Mr. Daniel Cooksley, and we're going to get into more of your photography. But before we go to a break, I do want to thank Eclat Law, who is sponsoring this week's show, and it is their mission to empower their client success. Art Eclat is one-of-a-kind contemporary art gallery, which is, we're going to have them in here, at their offices in the heart of Cranes Roost in Altamont Springs. For details, go to eclatlaw.com. That's ECALT law.com. And I also, before we go to break, why don't you tell people where they can find your work? Give them your social media.
I really, I have a Facebook page, but I'm not too active. If you want to see it, it's All In Photography 1. And I know it's kind of weird that I can't really change this. At the time, this was like, oh yes, I want to name this. But so that's ALLIN underscore photography 1. All In Photography.
And I would encourage you guys, go and have a look at that, and you'll see, because we're going to talk about an aesthetic and a very specific vision that you started out with, and you're starting to expand that. But these photos of stunning women in a beautiful, sensual, romantic light. I love, and when we get into it, I want you to explain why you went down that specific
and just
path.
For everyone listening out there, Miss Chase was one of the first young ladies.
I was one of the first models that started. Yes. I'm not going to say I started it. I'm not going to claim that.
You were one, aside from my, quote unquote, my muse.
Your muse.
You were one of the first that I started working with.
And it's always wonderful shooting with you. But that was the start of something quite special.
Yes,
and we're going to get into that more when we return after these messages. Stay tuned.
The Shannon Burke Show.
God dang, these sheets smell fantastic. They're so soft. I've never felt so free in all my life. Check out my new socks. Yeah. These socks is pretty too. God dang, so fresh. It's almost like they're brand new. Oh my God.
The Shannon Burke Show. Afternoons from 3 to 7 on Florida Man Radio.
eClat Law delivers innovative, cost-effective, and client-focused legal solutions for businesses, commercial, and individual legal disputes. Their mission is to empower their clients' success. eClat Law's Foundation for Community Action provides pro bono legal services to Central Florida veterans, community organizations, and supports local artists. Art at eClat is a one-of-a-kind contemporary art gallery at their offices in the heart of Crane's Roost in Altamont Springs. For a virtual tour or to learn more about events, visit eclatlaw.com. That's eclatlaw.com.
Does your business support the arts and entertainment scene here in Orlando? Well, talk to us about being a sponsor of the Chase Shelleé Show, and we'll even have you in the studio. Email us at info@chaseshellee.com. That's info@chase.com.
Hey everyone, Mitch Foster here from Shows I Go To. Thanks for tuning in to the Chase Shelleé Show on Florida Man Radio. SIGT Magazine is the highest quality magazine covering music, arts, and culture in Central Florida, both print and digital. And it's an interactive magazine. Want to know what that means? Use coupon code FloridaMan for 40% off your magazine subscription order at showsigoto.com.
Getting ready to do something about your quarantine weight? Florida Man Radio will help you ease your way back to fitness with a full-body workout from Fit to Row. Burn calories, tone up, and get the body you had or want from Orlando's premier indoor rowing studio. To win a full-body workout from Fit to Row, text the word ROW, R-O-W, to 321-339-1055. That's ROW to 321-339-1055 for your chance to win a 3-month membership from Fit to Row Orlando. Visit fittorow.net for more information and to book your session today.
If you've been involved in a car accident and are not sure of your legal options, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 and take back control of your life.
Office in Orlando.
Attention men, have Cialis and Viagra let you down? Do you think your best days are behind you? Think again. If you suffer from any type of ED, regardless of your age or medical history, the doctors at Alpha Wave Health Centers can help you now. There are no needles, no surgery, and no medication. Just the newest available proven treatment from Europe using acoustic pressure waves. Our FDA-cleared medical device regenerates blood vessels and erectile tissue with short in-office sessions. And it's all done with absolutely no needles, no surgery, or no medication. Call now for more information. Call 866-234-WAVE. That's 866-234-WAVE. 100% natural, non-invasive way to fix erectile dysfunction. Call 866-234-WAVE today and get your life back with Alpha Wave Health Centers. Call 866-234-WAVE or visit their website at alphawavehealth.com. That's alphawavehealth.com.
CNS Healthcare will begin enrolling participants into the Phase 2 and 3 global study sponsored by Pfizer Inc. and BioNTech SE of an investigational vaccine against COVID-19. Visit covid19research.us to find out more.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Hey, it's Bubba the Love Sponge. Listen every weekday mornings right here on Florida Man Radio, powered by Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Florida Man is everywhere. In the car, on your radio at 660 AM and 105.5 FM. In the office or working from home. We're streaming live at FloridaManRadio.com. Out and about? On a run? Listen live on the free Florida Man Radio app and on your Alexa device by saying play 105.5 Florida Man Radio. There's no reason to miss any of your favorites, like the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Hey Alexa, who are the most famous Bubbas?
According to Blogspot.com, Bubba and Howard are kings of media.
Oh, whoa! You're like that guy on the beach with a metal detector who finally found something.
You have Power Radio with Justin Clark, The Ed Till Show, or The Shannon Burke Show.
At that point, I'm down hard. Eat REM drink.
Yeah.
Like Ronald Reagan and I are bowling.
I do a rail of cocaine on the back of the toilet. Those kind of drinks.
Florida Man Radio. Unfiltered, unafraid. Get it how you need to. Now. Join the conversation now at 321-339-1055. It's the Chase Shelleé Show on Florida Man Radio.
Hello and welcome back to the Chase Shelleé Show here at Florida Man Radio. I do want to reiterate that the Chase Shelleé Show is being brought to you in part by Eclat Law, whose mission is to empower our clients' success. Art Eclat is one-of-a-kind contemporary art gallery. We're going to talk about that soon. At the offices in the heart of Crane's Roost in Altamont Springs. For details, go to eclatlaw.com. And I am very happy to have Mr. Kevin Ross-Andino, founder and managing partner at Eclat Law, as well as Miss Caitlin Iglesias, our their marketing director. Welcome to the studio, guys, and welcome to the Chase Shelleé Show.
Thank you, Chase.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show and keeping the arts alive and well and letting people know about it. But I am very curious. Law office, law firm, and arts. You don't really see that. Tell me about that.
It is a little weird,
Mm-hmm.
but that has been.
We like weird, though.
That has been my motto my whole life, is being a little different and a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 20-something years in your traditional big law firms practicing law. And about 5 years ago, I decided it was time to be me. I was always the guy at the law firm who was a little odd, dressed funny. I'm part Puerto Rican, part American Indian, part African American, and total weirdo. I've just been smart enough to be able to make it through law school. But I always wanted to do something different with my practice. So I decided to open my own practice. And unlike the traditional way where you name it after yourself and all your buddies and you open a law firm, I decided my law firm is just going to not really be about me, about being lawyers. It's about being someone who services the community. So I picked the word eclat.
Which means
in French, it means brilliantly energetic, or a very expensive perfume from France. But I wanted
leave it to the French.
I wanted it something
meaning.
that had a little artsy ring to it. You can see our logo. My first partner thought it was a little too frilly for a law firm because it was really not traditional. But when I started this firm, that was my goal, to make things a little less traditional, less law firmy-ish. I wanted my clients to come in and feel comfortable. We moved to a very big space last year. And one of my goals in my life has always wanted to own an art gallery. Sounds weird, but I can't paint and I can't sculpt and my photography is terrible, but I enjoy it. And when I was young, I used to like to go to Greenwich Village in New York. And there's tons of galleries in there. You can just see it. I used to just enjoy going in there and just absorbing the work in there and just trying to understand what the artists were thinking and seeing things through their eyes. So I always wanted to have one. I lived in Miami for a while. You have some of it there, but when I moved to Central Florida, you don't see very many. You have some in some restaurants. You have some in the Museum of Art, but it's really
coffee shops.
But it's not really some place where people can walk in to see a collection of different things. So when we moved into our space last year, my good friend here, Caitlin, who took over our marketing, I challenged her to make my dream come true. I want to have my own art gallery. We have 13,000 square feet.
Wow.
We have a lot of walls.
Yeah, a lot
we
of
have
space.
a lot of space.
That's small space.
Yes. Fill it up with art, and let's create our own art gallery, because the practice is. Excuse me.
No, I said that's amazing.
Yeah, our practice was what we wanted. We were representing various different people, doing a lot of pro bono, a lot of community work. But that was kind of the missing piece for me, is to have that art gallery. So over the past year, we've just developed it. We have art from our focus are. They call emerging artists, people who just don't have anywhere to show their art. They're amateur artists, students. And so I encourage them all to have their... That's right, photographers, sculptors, we've got it all.
Mr. Kevin, Ms. Caitlin, have you met...
We'll exchange business cards.
We'll exchange and we'll invite you over. It's a shame with COVID-19 that we can't have things in the office. So Caitlin was... in her astuteness, created an online virtual tour, so you can see all of the art online on our website.
Oh yeah.
We have a part of our website is dedicated to all our artists.
Amazing.
And all of our, and then there's another one part to all of the community work that we do. But if you go to the art at Eclat, that's what we call our gallery, you can see all the artists. You can see it, the whole collection, or by artist, or by sculptor, or by photographer.
Amazing.
It's ever changing.
I keep saying amazing, but it's true.
It's ever changing. We get new pieces in all the time. Folks sell things, which is nice. Some people exchange their art out when we have events. Until recently, we used to have an event almost every month where we invite people from the community in. We like to show off our offices. We have a fancy cafe. We have a fancy entertainment room.
Well, all this nonsense needs to stop so I can come and look at this. Oh my goodness.
But really, that was the vision of the art, because other than going to these art festivals, it's a one-day thing. We have one in Cranes Roost every year. You get to see people's art for a day, and then they go back to Tampa, Georgia, wherever they're from.
Yeah, it's almost like a pop-up.
Right. You have a little pop-up one in Oviedo, Winter Springs, where trustees there, so we participate in their art. But that's it. I mean, you can't really, especially in Seminole County, really can't go anywhere and enjoy a bunch of art. So, when you come to our office, I think we have over 150 paintings.
Oh, yeah.
And I think right now we have about 20 or so sculptures. We're getting more, according to Caitlin.
We are getting more.
She likes to fill every little nook and cranny in the office with stuff.
If there's space, I want to fill it.
There's space, I want to fill it. We give art.
You found the right one.
Yeah, that's right. We give artists the opportunity. So my office doesn't have any art, so we like to do little special things to give them the opportunity to fill my office. With I have the biggest office, of course.
Naturally.
but to fill up my, the challenge now, we're going to have people bring new art and challenging them to fill my office with your art and stuff like that. Again, for the virtual tours when we can get together.
If you are worthy.
If you're worthy.
Your work gets in the big boss's office.
It has to be very colorful. Photographs are always great. My daughter's into photography, so she's got in the running there. And she'll probably have at least one piece in my office.
Daughter. That's not fair.
But so we had one of our artists recently passed away, and so we're going to be dedicating one of our conference rooms and putting his art on display there. Did I tell that too soon, Caitlin? Because I got the pinch.
No,
all right.
So
it's official now.
I'm not very good at keeping our secrets, or I announce things too soon. But we like to do these little special things for the artists. Legal wise, I do a lot of entertainment law.
That's the next question I was going to ask you is one of the things that artists, and I'm speaking as one, is that we lack sometimes business sense.
Correct.
And then involved in that business is, our rights and the laws directed to our business.
Correct.
So you work with them to educate us.
Correct. So, our main practice is civil litigation.
I'm liking you more and more. I'm just saying. Big fan.
We do mostly civil litigation, but as part of, the services we do for the community, I have a new partner joining us. We do, the corporate stuff. I focus more on the entertainers. And so all of the artists in our office do everything for them pro bono. Other than divorces, I won't do their divorces. Art related, I will do those for them.
It's good you put that in.
To kind of help them, and just to educate them. We have a big training room in our office, and what I like to do sometimes is have them come in there and have people in the community come there. And as a lawyer, I always say the best client is one that's educated. So I try to spend time educating my clients. Protect yourself so I can protect you a lot easier.
No, that's wonderful.
And some folks are so terrified to come to a law firm because they think it's going to cost them so much money and don't realize if I don't protect my rights, it costs me a lot more money down the road.
That's true.
And so it's just a part of educating people. Come in here. I'm not that bad. My office is cool.
I have art in my office.
I have art in my office. It's a happy place. I actually was told by one of my corporate clients, I forgot I was in a law firm. And that's kind of what we were going for.
Yes.
We want you to forget you're here.
Well, and I do want to push this out there. If anyone, whoever's listening, does have some questions for all of my guests, text 321-339-1055. So you can get some free advice right here on the air. And do text your name so we can give you a shout out. But I think that's wonderful that you are educating, and because it so much of what artists do is we're always feeling vulnerable in our creating and then putting it out there. That this seems like one more step, like to ask, I don't know this. I don't know what I don't know. That world of entertainment law and whatnot. So I love that there's somebody who's reaching out and going, it's okay, I know. You can talk to me.
Absolutely. And I think that in the beginning, you're just you just want to be doing whatever it is that you're passionate about.
Yes.
You're not thinking about the legal and it's
about
like,
protecting
I just
yourself.
Take photos.
Yes.
But then
I
next
just
thing
want to
you know,
make music.
Yeah. Then I see, like somebody comes to me and say, well, confronts me about a certain thing, or it's like, wait, that's my work that I see being advertised in something else. So
right.
All of those,
Have you dealt with a lot of that with artists who come and their work has been stolen, or someone's using it as something else? Or
so we have a couple of clients, and I won't use their names. I'll use my daughter's example. My daughter as an example. My daughter had a situation where someone tried to take some of her photographs and she called them with her demand letter.
Rude.
And they're like, well, wait, who made this contract? And why do I have to go to Florida? I said, number one, my dad made it. And number two, my dad lives in Florida.
Let me tell you about my
give
dad.
me my money. But it was resolved.
Oh, that story makes me so happy.
But, I've got a client that has a website that they frequently have folks violate their copyrights. But they're a corporate client. And they're very well funded, so they can protect themselves. But a lot of people can't. Some of our artists can't. People can come take pictures of your art and just sell it, and as reprints and stuff like that. And so it's just educating them that you can protect this stuff. This stuff is very valuable.
It is.
And not only does it take your time and your energy, your effort, and the money. You have to buy the stuff that you're creating. But this is your creativity, and it should mean something to you more than just the fact that it's a part of me that I created. And with some of our artists who are, they're school teachers, they have other jobs. They just don't think of it more than something I do for fun and I enjoy, and they don't realize that some of this stuff is absolutely beautiful. We have some folks that have some paintings and they're like, this is absolutely amazing. We have a wooden sculpture that we have in the office. It looks like a giant saber tooth from a tiger.
Oh my goodness!
And it's just but it's the way she sculpted it. It's just beautiful. I like looking at it every day. And she doesn't think as much of it, other than it's just a piece of art.
Artists, we are our own worst critics.
Yes, we are.
I think I can understand that. Not say to discredit whether it be my work as a photographer or as an actor. I'm confident in what I do in the sense of I know what I like. And so when I hear or when I see how it resonates with someone else, I just worked with someone not too long ago. She says that you own what it, and I'm like, okay. And I am just getting to the point where I'm owning the fact that I am a photographer. Because before it's like, yes, I'm taking these, I'm taking, all I'm doing is pushing a button and, adjusting some lights, which essentially there is a little bit of truth to that.
Well, there's technical aspects to it, but there is no substitute for that natural talent that you have, that artists do have. Certain things do need to be taught, but then I could take the same photography lessons and it would not look anything like what you do. So,
and that's beautiful. And I think that's something that's just the uniqueness of all of us in our own perspective. It's like I'm just giving the world or sharing my perspective or my view, of something. But not having, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I like the photo. But it touching, just coming full circle to what you were saying about, it's like, well, I don't, the saber tooth you're looking at, it's like, this is magic.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, oh, yeah, I did that one weekend. Some 120 grit and a chisel.
Well, it's interesting. I told one of our artists at our last event, I said, look at it this way with your art. People pay me a lot of money because they think I'm the smartest guy in the world. I'm a lawyer, but it's my art. It's what I do. It's no different. That's what you contribute.
Absolutely.
I contribute my legal expertise and knowledge. You contribute this piece of work that people enjoy. But they're both things that we own.
And it's so precious that you value that. And hearing it come from someone in a completely different world is quite validating. And I'm sure every artist that you encounter really appreciates that. So. Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Not all lawyers are bad people.
Not at all. So we are going to go to our last commercial break, and we will be right back with all of my amazing guests here on the Chase Shelleé Show.
Central Florida, Bill O'Reilly here. You deserve the truth and news with no spin. I don't care what side you're on. Catch me on Florida Man Radio, weekday mornings at 9:10 and 11:50 to give you the unfiltered and unafraid news updates. The O'Reilly Update right here on Florida Man Radio.
660 AM, 105.5 FM, streaming at floridamanradio.com.
eClat Law delivers innovative, cost-effective, and client-focused legal solutions for businesses, commercial, and individual legal disputes. Their mission is to empower their clients' success. eClat Law's Foundation for Community Action provides pro bono legal services to Central Florida veterans, community organizations, and supports local artists. Art at eClat is a one-of-a-kind contemporary art gallery at their offices in the heart of Crane's Roost in Altamont Springs. For a virtual tour or to learn more about events, visit eclatlaw.com. That's eclatlaw.com.
Hey everyone, Mitch Foster here from Shows I Go To. Thanks for tuning in to the Chase Shelleé Show on Florida Man Radio. SIGT Magazine is the highest quality magazine covering music, arts, and culture in Central Florida, both print and digital. And it's an interactive magazine. Want to know what that means? Use coupon code FloridaMan for 40% off your magazine subscription order at showsigoto.com.
Does your business support the arts and entertainment scene here in Orlando? Well, talk to us about being a sponsor of the Chase Shelleé Show, and we'll even have you in the studio. Email us at info@chaseshelleé.com. That's info@chase.com.
Return to Gatorland. Florida residents can return with half-off admission now until the end of August.
It's beautiful. You gotta get out to Gatorland.
The radical left has launched a cultural revolution to destroy the American way of life and our American heritage. These Marxists have weaponized the cancel culture to silence anyone who stands against them. Their demands to defund police will put an end to law and order and tear our country apart. It's un-American. Now, more than ever, we need the proven conservative leadership of Republican Yukong Zhao. Yukong Zhao's father was politically persecuted during China's Cultural Revolution. After escaping from communist China, Yukong has become a national leader in the fight against the socialist ideology that destroyed his family. Learn more about Yukong Zhao's fight against the radical left at yukongzhaoforcongress.com. Vote for Yukong Zhao, last name spelled as Z-H-A-O, as your representative from Florida District 7 to stand with President Trump in the battle against the radical left agenda.
Paid for and approved by Yukong Zhao for Congress.
I'm Yukong Zhao. I approve this message.
If there was ever a place for everything, it has to be the Home Depot's Pack Store Save event. Now with exclusive HDX black and yellow Tough Totes in various sizes from as little as $4.98 each. Safely store everything from seasonal items to family keepsakes. At this price, these totes are well within reach. Go to homedepot.com/storage. All your storage solutions in one place. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid through September 7th while supplies last.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Florida Man is everywhere. In the car, on your radio at 660 AM and 105.5 FM. In the office or working from home, we're streaming live at FloridaManRadio.com. Out and about, on a run, listen live on the free Florida Man Radio app and on your Alexa device by saying play 105.5 Florida Man Radio. There's no reason to miss any of your favorites, like the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Hey Alexa, who are the most famous Bubbas?
According to Blogspot.com, Bubba and Howard are kings of media.
Oh. You're like that guy on the beach with a metal detector who finally found something.
You have Power Radio with Justin Clark, The Ed Till Show, or The Shannon Burke Show.
At that point, I'm down hard. Eat REM drink.
Yeah.
Like Ronald Reagan and I are bowling.
I do a rail of cocaine off the back of the toilet. Those kind of
Florida Man Radio. Unfiltered, unafraid. Get it how you need to. Now, back to the Chase Shelleé Show. Florida Man Radio.
Oh yeah, that's my voice singing. For those who don't know, I sing. Welcome back to the Chase Shelleé Show here at Florida Man Radio. It is being brought to you in part by Eclat Law, whose mission is to empower our clients' success. Art Eclat is one of a kind, and I'm learning it is one of a kind. Everyone in here is one of a kind. Contemporary art gallery at their offices in the heart of Crane's Roost in Altamont Springs. For details, go to eclatlaw.com. That is ECALT law.com. Go for advice and look at their art, which we've been talking about. And I wanted to bring back, I also have Mr. Daniel Cooksley in the studio. And I wanted to focus back onto your photography. It's been, we were talking, it's been a 2-year anniversary.
Coming up, yes, ma'am.
Coming up. It's a 2-year journey, and how you have your style. You've always stayed true to your style. You photograph beautifully. You started out with mostly black and white, and then started to flirt with some color. How did that happen?
It was doing with that, it was, I shot a young lady that was cosplay, and sorry to all my cosplay fans out there, but I don't remember the character, but it was green, and it's like, I can't have this just in black and white. So that was my first photo.
I remember that.
In color.
I saw
and
it.
It stuck out like.
Who stole Daniel's account?
Exactly.
He doesn't do color.
But it's, like to start, yes, my, initially speaking, like I've always been drawn to black and white. I think there's so much truth in black and white. It's, and how to even say style is that comes to owning what it is that I do, because now, I'll take that. I'll take that. Our dear friend of ours, Michael Pierre, he reached out to me. He says, yeah, you know what? We have a lot of friends in common.
Mr. Michael Pierre is my guest next week.
Oh, he is.
Yes,
He's
he
fabulous.
That's going to be a fun
He's
show.
Fabulous.
And we'll talk about that later.
And he had texted me. He says, you know what? We have a lot of friends in common. And when they change their profile picture, I immediately say, oh, that's Daniel Cooksley. And that was such I thought, wow, I was so flattered by that.
You have a style.
Absolutely.
And one thing that, and I encourage everyone, go to All In Photography on your Instagram.
All in _photography 1.
Photography 1. Thank you. And most of what you do is you capture beautiful women. And one of the reasons I'm just going to put this out there is because the way you do it, you are a storyteller. You're not going to find a bunch of babes in bikinis. You can tell your theater background. You can tell the artistic eye that you have, even in the way that there's nothing sexual about it. It is pure sensuality. And I want to direct this specifically to the story of the model who I think she had MS.
Yes.
When you told me that story, I cried. It was beautiful. Would you please share that with us?
It's hard. It has been an organic progression, and kind of falling on the story earlier about like why I started acting. Something had happened,
yes,
and then it organically progressed to something. It's like I'm supposed to be doing this,
yes.
And I don't mean that as in like, oh yes, I'm so good. I don't mean that. I mean the fact that I'm grateful that the universe has given me this to share. I get to show someone how beautiful they are.
And you can't ignore it. Yes.
I get that's what I get to do. And speaking of this young lady she's a dear friend of mine to this day, and she had scoliosis, and we'd worked together, and she had never let anybody take any photographs because she was very sensitive about it, and I'd asked to photograph. You know, we'd already worked together at one point, and I did, to show her. You know, a friend of mine refers to my work as you get to show someone a side of themselves that they don't get to see.
It's very true.
Literally and metaphorically in that sense. And it was upon that I realized that I'm doing more than just take pictures. You know, I realized that, because there is no, and thank you for that. And I definitely pride myself. There's no objectification in any of my work, but my themes and styles will vary. From one extreme to the next, but there's no objectification.
Well, you do play with an aspect of bondage.
Yes.
With submission.
Yes.
And also a form of that, is it shibari? The Japanese rope tying?
I will not say that I do, because anybody that's out there will be all defensive about it,
okay.
and those. But yeah.
Well, calm down, those people out there. it's paying an homage to, respect for, and everything that you do has such an elegance to it. There is no objectification. And as a female, I used to model, but as someone who performs, I can look at other females that you've photographed, and everyone it's so respectful, and they're beautiful. You have that edge, but you maintain this beauty to it.
Thank you. One of it has been this amazing progression, and one of the things that I stopped actually using in my comments. It's like not model, because I hate using the word model, because I think the word model puts somebody in a box. What do you have to be 6 foot, 105 pounds? You
Hey,
know,
some tall girls appreciate that.
Well, yes, absolutely. But that's what, that's what we've been fed through marketing, through.
No, you now use the word in frame, I believe.
Yes, exactly.
Or the phrase.
Exactly. And that has messed girls up, and men for that matter. And to say, okay, well, this is what beauty is. And when it comes down to it, because I think that we all have the propensity to look at ourselves in the mirror and focus on our perceived flaws and imperfections.
Oh, yes.
Perceived flaws and imperfections. Right. And we don't see us. And when it comes down to it, we are all beautiful. There's only one of you. There's only one of you. There's only one. And that in and of itself is beautiful. And so I get to show someone how beautiful they are. And I am obsessed with eyes and hands, and it is, like self-evaluation on, you'll see that common thread or that theme in this, but you can, we all wear masks, whether it's with our families, with our friends, whether, and I try to create an environment where but I am asking somebody to be vulnerable because I'm asking them to take off that mask. I'm not asking them to be anybody other than themselves. You won't see a lot of smiling. I think I've got two photos in my portfolio that is smiling. And I have a whole, like my theory behind that. Basically, that's telling the viewer how you want them to feel. Raised eyebrow, a smile. Whereas it's almost voyeuristic. Is that I'm sitting on the outside looking in, and this is how you are at home. And not trying to I'm asking them to be themselves. And
it's a very intimate experience where you really have to be with yourself.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And it shows.
And
it shows in your work.
Thank you. And what a gift that is. What a gift. And I think that through like the art heals and finding what it is, or it adhering to your spirit and your, as it has with me, and why I started and why I'm doing it now in this beautiful progression of spiritual, progression for me, what it means to me is totally different. Not saying that I was in it for the wrong intentions before, but I see how powerful it is. I've had,
how it affects people.
Absolutely. I've had girls say, that have had that were dysmorphic or body dysmorphia, and I didn't even know what that was. And they are saying, Daniel, this is the first time that I've posted a picture of myself, and or that I looked at that, and I'm just like I'm in tears, and I get to give that to them. I get to show them I'm not changing anything. I'll take off blemishes. I will remove anything that is not permanent. So, blemishes and stuff like that. But, that's every person that you see in my portfolio, that is them. I'm not asking them to be anything other than what they are. And is why they're beautiful.
No, it's powerful. It is quite powerful, and it's an uplifting message. And I like that you're also doing, and it's a continuing series, your inked series, correct?
Yes. It is exactly that, the All In Inked series, and it is showcasing empowered women. Actually, I lie because I did just shoot a male.
I was surprised to see that, but well done.
Thank you.
Beautifully done.
Thank you. And the ink they wear. And I've always been partial to. I just think that there's something that is so just beautiful about it. And Baby Blue was actually one of my first.
Oh, shout out to Blue.
Yeah,
love you, Mama.
Yeah, Lainey. Lainey was my first the first young lady that
Ink
I worked
series.
with. Yeah, in the Ink series, and I think I'm on 16 or 17. And it's fabulous. It's taken me, on this amazing journey. And with that is I've been introduced to some amazing energies and amazing spirits, and I get to take pictures. And I think that is just amazing. That is just that it's just amazing that's what I get to do, and that somebody, that if I can, have that effect, people, I don't post it online because I need that, I don't need anybody's approval for it. The only person that I care about what thinks about the photography is the person I'm shooting.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I don't care what anybody else thinks. But it is I know what's inspired me. And it's pretty cool to think that, wow, if somebody will write to me, or they'll say, I'd love that. My girlfriend She actually, we were brought together. She lives up in North Carolina. She saw my work, and because she's a writer, and she says that your work has inspired some of my writing.
Isn't that just the best?
I know.
That is the best. All right, give a shout out to your.
I know.
Give a shout out to your.
And
lady.
you guys can go. You can look at her work. Yes, Trial by Fire photography. But and we just started. We started chatting back and forth, completely innocent, and she loved the work. And one of the things is she's like, "How do you get the girls that you work with to look so natural?" Or, so comfortable. And that is so important to me. It is 100% based off of the comfort level of whomever I'm working with. I'm not trying to exploit. And if they are not 100% comfortable, then I don't, you can hide it here, but you won't be able to hide it in your,
in your face.
I hugged myself, everybody. You can hide it here. But you can't hide it in your eyes. And if you're, you're uncomfortable, and morally speaking, but, and it's because of that. And it's, for the people that I've worked with, there is this. I can only. It's like being, like a bartender, or they feel that they can open up. And I've sat and I sit before every new shoot.
You share a moment with someone, and I also want to shout out, because you haven't done it, that you are now, your work has been published, correct?
Yes, it has.
In Jaded.
Yes, Jaded
and it's
magazine.
Barbed wire and butterfly. Gorgeous photo.
Yes, it's. I'm really excited about that. It is my first publication.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I feel like it's the first time I had a TV show on Netflix. I thought it was going to be like, oh wait, okay, I'm on Netflix. But I am very proud of it. It's an amazing magazine because it fits that aesthetic that I love. It's just like dark and beautiful, because we all have that. You will see a common thread with all of my work, and there is this this juxtaposition of beauty and darkness, because we all have that. Now darkness doesn't always necessarily mean that it's negative, but I love that beauty in the wreckage, and you see a lot of shadows, and like we do hide. We do hide, but I get to, as long as I have one eye, I get to show that person in that. As to the audience again, I'm sitting here posing for everyone.
We're doing the live stream, so the people on the live, they can see him posing and contorting and posing. You're just gonna have to take our word for it for our listeners. Yes,
that's one of the things I really like about different arts, but photography. I get to enjoy my daughter's work in particular, because you can see that split second of time. And you take a picture of somebody and you just try to, what's going on in their mind, and it just makes you think a little bit. And sometimes you share a moment with somebody you don't even know.
Create your own reality looking at the photo.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I thank you so much for all my amazing guests. Daniel Cooksley. Make sure you follow him at
allin_photography1. That's ALLIN. _photography1.
And that is his Instagram. Reach out to him. Also check out Jaded Magazine, where he is being featured. I'm so proud of you. Also want to thank you, Ken and Caitlin, so much for coming in, for being a sponsor, and for supporting the artistic community. I am going to be performing at Grand Bohemian later on this evening, if any brave souls would like to venture out. My producer's like, would you please talk about that? Yes, ma'am. Thank you again, Florida Man Radio, Eclat Law, and we will see you guys next Saturday. Stay safe and sane.
You have Power Radio with Justin Clark.
What are they going to use? That you called a Florida man a meth head?
I don't think that's too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying.
I think he's worried about like all the other skeletons in the closet.
I feel like we spend 2 hours a day